what you did, you little jerk.
So we want you guys to get to know Andy as well. So first, Andy, can you talk about how you grew up and what you dealt with growing up as a kid with your, maybe talk about like what exactly your condition is?
Yeah, sure. So I was born in here, Los Angeles, California. Grew up in the San Fernando Valley. Go 818.
818.
818 all day. I grew up in a pretty traditional Korean American family. My parents, they did the best that they could. They didn't necessarily expect to have me, and so they did the best that they could, the best way that they knew how. So it wasn't easy growing up, kind of negotiating through life, trying to find different ways to do things. There were a lot of missteps, a lot of accidents, a lot of broken dishes, a lot of ruined clothes, and so on and so forth. And but eventually, I was able to find that equilibrium. I was able to find that point where where everything became naturally. So writing became natural. Putting on clothes became natural. Using a camera became natural, and so it was hard, but it definitely helped mold me and shape me into the person that I am today.
So did your parents ever push for using like adaptive equipment or devices?
Not really. Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, if anything, especially my mother, she was more inclined to try to do everything for me. And my dad, in certain instances, yeah, he would just, even now, he's still kind of like, sometimes he'll like try to do something that I am perfectly capable of doing, but it's just, I guess it's just the parental like instinct to, make it easier on your kids' lives. So, but no, well, the only thing that my dad suggested was that a driving knob. For when I was starting to learn, how to drive, he was like, "Oh, do you need, you want me to install a driving knob, and then, to make it easier?" I was like, "No, I'm good. I haven't had any accidents yet."
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been to more accidents than you, so yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So, how long did it take before you became comfortable, if you remember, like doing basic, activities of daily living? I'm an OT, an occupational therapist. As you guys know, I used to work in a hand clinic for a little bit, so I realized, obviously, how important, having our hands are. So I'm just, thinking how difficult it would be to complete day-to-day tasks. However, you grew up with, this condition, and so I guess you've naturally just adapted to it. But, I mean, do you remember a certain point where it was pretty much easy to put on clothes or to make yourself a snack or sandwich, or how to use scissors or utensils, stuff like that? How did that come about?
Yeah, I mean, when I was a little kid, I think just as all little kids are, still trying to negotiate those finer like motor functions, and kids are really clumsy, and so and I was no different. I was really clumsy, but I did feel a little bit more like guilty, like if I did mess up, because I had this to overcome, and so so I had this to overcome, and so I don't know, like kind of the guilt that a kid would feel for like knocking over something or spilling something. I think I felt that like 10 times over, and so I think that also drove me to work harder to become like capable and more coordinated, and so And so.
Seems like just a lot of practice.
Yeah, so just a lot of practice, and I don't think I didn't feel fully capable or coordinated until probably like junior high. Because by that time I was doing a lot of things for myself, you know. Junior high, you know, that was when the first time I got a locker and I was able to put in the combination, and I was also riding my bike to school, and well, I've been riding my bike to school since elementary school, but yeah, just all those things that, you know, like that constant repetition of daily life, you know, just kind of reinforced everything, so it became like muscle memory. And so like when I got into like my adolescence, that's when everything's, which is kind of odd because you know, at adolescence you're supposed to be more uncomfortable with your body, and you know, because you're filling in and you're kind of, you know, you're growing into it. But in terms of everyday activities, that's when I felt the most coordinated or the most capable.
Okay.
What was it like going through school? Did you have any difficulties with like teachers or like other kids being kind of messed up or anything like that?
Not so much. I mean, it's hard when you don't look like everybody else, and you know, and I think, you know, I had that doubly because, you know, I was like one of the few Asians in my school, and then I was also this disabled kid, and so I mean, I definitely got a lot of like side glances, and you know, and especially like little girls, like, I just have it burned in my mind for the rest of my life. And these little girls are running in just the side of me.
It's tough.
And so, so it was, you know, I guess emotionally, it was pretty rough. I was never ever like physically intimidated by anyone. I think one of the worst things someone called me was in elementary school, and I still remember it. Partly because he kind of turned something that I love so much against me, but it was he called me a Ninja Turtle. You know?
Oh man.
Yeah, you know, it was like, you know, I was a little kid. I loved the Ninja Turtles, and then here's this like, and it was like this older classman who, you know, turned it against me and tried to, like, you know, use it as, you know, to insult me, and I was just like, you know, but other than that, those like few instances, I think, like early on, like first, second grade, other than those, I haven't had too much problem with like bullying or feeling alienated or ostracized.
Well, that's pretty good, because heck, like I was, you know, I'm perfectly physically abled, and you know, but I was younger and kind of short than everybody. I got picked on all the time.